And we're live. Welcome to Bigfoot
and the Bunny.
This is a couple's journey into the mysterious,
the unknown, and the paranormal.
I'm your host, Chris Carr.
And I'm your host, Kristen Johnson.
Together we are Bigfoot and the Bunny. And we're live again. There we go.
Welcome to Bigfoot and the Bunny.
Welcome to Bigfoot and the Bunny. I'm Chris Carr.
And I think I'm Kristen Johnson at this moment, but I'm not sure.
Done a little quick computer tweaking. That was all our fault. So
yeah,
we can't blame things like last week when our camera went off.
Oh, yeah.
Just by itself. And we thought it was on a battery saver or something. So I checked it before the show today and it was not. It just turned itself off. And we don't know about that. I'm sure there's a very good explanation. Always is. But, hey, how you doing? So we had a fun week this week, Chris.
We did. We went out with our friend Anne Marie Young.
Yes, we did. And we went to Salem.
We did.
Salem, Massachusetts, because 'tis the season.
So
not that it's not a great place to go at any time of the year, but it is particularly fun in October.
And Anne, she lives out of state, so she came up and we both got shirts that says road trip.
That's right.
Salem, Mass. So
you'll see those.
Yeah.
Witches, and I had a wicked good time.
He did.
Well, we're from Massachusetts and we can say that. And it was awesome. And thank you again, Anne.
Thanks, Anne Marie.
We were flying high in Salem. That was a ball.
Yes.
We
couldn't find any witch hats, but we're good.
Yeah,
we got t-shirts.
Witch hats, or very few. But we had a really good time. Food was awesome, and we just excellent. Had a ball. And you can find Anne at our group page as well on Facebook, which is Rise of the Phoenix. Look for that, and you'll see us at facebook.com/Bigfoot and the Bunny. You'll see we're members of that, and you can also go there to find out just what we're up to.
We just put out some pictures, as a matter of fact, on our pages of Anne and our trip.
Yeah, we just posted some
couple of pictures,
some posters from that journey. So anyways, happy Saturday. Hope you're having a good time. We have an awesome guest for you guys this week. Psychic medium Jim Hunt from the TV show Knock Knock Ghost, which you can catch right now on Amazon Prime, travels the world searching for answers to some of our biggest questions about what happens when we die. He'll also talk about his experiences and research in Eastern Canada's historically haunted locations, as well as his adventures over the years with Bigfoot, aliens, shapeshifters, and more. So let's bring him right on.
Hello.
Welcome, Jim.
Hello. Welcome.
How you
Thanks
doing?
for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yes.
I'm loving every minute of this already, so this is cool.
2 hours.
Yes. Let's have some fun.
So we wanted to ask you about Knock Knock Ghosts and the name because it reminded me of spiritual rapping. That was a phrase that was used in the 1800s during the spiritualist movement in the early 1900s. And I believe the Fox sisters were the first ones to come out with that. And I was wondering if it had anything to do with that. That was referring to the knocking of, tables and things of that nature, and not rapping like, the ghost of the toast has the most.
So let me tell you, Chris, absolutely not. Nothing to that at all. But I can explain it to you. My wife is a professional stand-up comedian, and she had met, thank you, and she had met Richard Ryder, and they do a circuit together, and they do a lot of different open mics around Toronto and surrounding areas here in Canada. And Richard, who's the co-host of Knock Knock Ghost at the time, said, "Do you know a psychic? Does anyone know a psychic?" And my wife secretly went up to him and just said, "Hey, my husband's a psychic." And Richard Ryder's going, "Yeah, like, and a whole bunch of beautiful F words and F bombs and everything else that dropped on that table at that time. And then they introduced me to him. He tested me like everybody else does. And I think I opened up his eyes to that because he's the strongest skeptic on the show. And then I think it worked. And so the Knock Knock Ghost was knocking about a joke, a knock knock ghost or a knock knock joke is how it turned out. And that's how it worked. So that's where we came from.
Oh, gotcha.
Wow,
Gotcha.
That's cool.
I figured it had something to do with that, but then we were also watching something on the spiritualism recently, and I was like, spiritual rapping, knock knock, maybe some parts.
That's where they got it from.
No, that's really cool. That's already coming. Here's Anne Marie. We were just speaking of you, Anne Marie. Stupid Gremlins, yes. Yes, always love you guys. Love you too. Robert Riggy's out there.
Hi, Robert.
Absolutely correct about the Fox sisters. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right.
I think part of the problems that everyone's been having with electronics, obviously, is the way Mercury in retrograde has been working since, September 28th, and it goes until October 18th. So it's not been a good one for a lot of people.
No, it's like 6 planets in retrograde. Or
Gatorade.
Five.
Gatorade.
Yeah.
It's like going up
Everything is going wrong.
for energy. It's like going up an escalator the wrong way. It's just so difficult to get to the top, and it's that slow.
Yeah, it has been a little buggy, but honestly, things are always a little wackadoodle here in this studio that we built. I don't know why we call them gremlins, but it could be many things.
We have a question already.
All right, yeah, questions are pouring in there, and Derek Spillner says, "Hello, I'd like to know what his experience is with shapeshifters."
Right off the bat.
Right.
We're going
Take a look at that. We can go there if you'd like.
Sure. We'll wrap back around, Ghost. We got all kinds of things to talk about. So.
Okay, perfect. So my very first experience was in a subway here in Toronto, Canada, our great subway, and that was about 26 years ago. And the shapeshifter did not care that I was on the same car as him. And he was really freaking out because intuitives, anybody with an empathic personality can pick them out of a crowd, really can. And they get nervous from our energy because they can see auras like we can. And I noticed it. It looked at me. It sort of turned quite quickly, and it bolted as soon as it got to the next stop. And it bolted so fast, I could not catch up to it.
Wow.
Because it does not want to talk to me. And the last one was just in 2018, going to Denver, Colorado from Toronto. And it was, he was one of the flight attendants, I believe, was there. We looked at each other. He dropped his microphone or his two-way radio, took off his badges, and bolted. He was going to be on the same. He was going to be on the same flight as us.
And Derek is asking if you feel the shapeshifter was of human origin.
I think it shifted. It's not a trickster, and because a trickster will usually take an animal form, like an elemental, but this was a full human personality. And I was with one of my colleagues at the time who said that person looked quite peculiar at the time, and I couldn't quite tell her what was going on because it would have freaked her out.
I bet. Really.
All right. Actually, that's related to something you wanted.
I wanted to ask. All right. So I don't want to spoil this for anybody, but as we said, we watched Knock Knock Ghost. And there was you're welcome. And there was one episode that you were in and I hope I don't pronounce this wrong, but L'Original Jail.
L'Original, yep.
Thank you.
L'Original.
You guys in the beginning were having fun with that because she wasn't saying it right either. So, but at one point you said that you felt a demonic, spirit or presence, and you couldn't protect your team. And you said it again, Now, my question is, how did you feel? How do you know it was demonic, in your opinion? How did you feel?
So,
With the chaotic energy?
Yeah.
so I don't know what people feel like intuitively. I can speak for myself,
Hmm.
but other people feel the same journey that I go on to because the real psychic mediums seem to be coming out lately, which I love. So what happens here is I will feel a vice from inside my shoulders squeezing me very tightly as if it's got a hold of me with its arms or its hands and squeezing the crap out of me. And it has a hard time breathing. There's no smell of sulfur. Sometimes there is, but there is an odor that could come around. And the energy was doing the sign of infinity, but not in, but doing it in the complete opposite way. So it was throwing energy against me or against my colleagues and everybody else. And it wasn't a safe place to be into. And it wasn't a very bad prison per se, but it was not a healthy one. That's
I'm
for
just
sure.
wondering how it got there. I mean, was
Uh,
it, you didn't seem to be sure if it was a prisoner or.
I think it was one of the guards. I think it was somebody who was malicious. I think it was a human being that was a son of a bitch and just hurt a lot of different people and took advantage.
So, what do you feel the difference between a demonic being, like chaotic being, and how do you be against a negative being?
A negative human
No,
being.
his
What you're saying is
spirit,
how does a human seem different to you than something that is maybe
right?
not human?
Um, so even in the spirit world, just like we've seen poltergeists take a human over, their
Mhm.
body over, you can still see that in spirit form, where a poltergeist will take over that spirit form, the ones that I always try to release. And they control that spirit form like as if it's their puppet. So it will do its dirty work so that it doesn't have to be seen. Poltergeists do not like to be seen. They don't like to be heard. They don't like to have any of it. They use an alter ego of somebody else that is just as evil, I would say, from the human side. But when a poltergeist does come out, that's when you get the smell. That's when you get the darkness. That's when you get um, the feeling of helplessness, depression, anger. And for a lot of people who do investigations, those poltergeists love the investigator who doesn't know how to protect themselves or doesn't do any of that. And then there's a whole shitload of trouble at that point. And by the way, I
Yes.
swear it's too often. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's a wide open door.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
At that point, though, for the poltergeist, be like a wide
Yes.
open door to step in. Do you feel like those entities that they control is playing sort of a role? That's something we talk about on the show a lot. Like there's
Always.
stereotypes and hauntings, right? There's always a haunted kid in a graveyard and a woman in white, and those are
Child in a
examples we use.
house.
And
Yeah.
you see a lot of the same things, right? Like every town has a lot
Repetition.
of the
Yeah.
same type of hauntings, and it's very curious to us. Like it's like they're stepping into that role. Sometimes that role is like a demonic entity, and it may not be. You know, when they're using words like Beelzebub and demonic names or whatever.
Okay. So what happens to me, and I'm blessed with this and I've been lucky. I have only positive energy on the left side of me, the heart chakra side, and I know that that energy's been good and it's treated me that way since I was a child of 5. Anything that's on my right, I have a hard time believing or listening to, or I'll take some of the information because the demonic will give you good information, but they're going to
Mhm.
go around it and give you information that will be painful or hurtful or spiteful to the person that you're trying to get the answer to. Like they'll say, "Oh, your grandmother died, but it was your uncle that put the pillow over her face." You know, that's what they'll do. And I'll get that information on the right. When the left, I'll get your your grandmother passed away, and she just passed away naturally in her sleep. So I have to decipher who's right, who's wrong, what type of situation it is. People do a lot of history in a home. So
Mhm.
you will have the little child, and 95% of the time, it's not the child.
Mm-mm.
It's a poltergeist. A woman in white. Good luck with that. I think that's gone by like the Fred Flintstone cartoons. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. So for
But
me, anyway.
you hear about a lot, right? So it's almost like
Hmm.
if somebody perceives that or they see what is the stereotype typical woman in white or whatever color, it's almost like they're fishing with like a tackle, from the other side. And it's like, all right, I'll be the woman in white. I'll be the little kid. You'll feel bad for me. Give me attention.
Exactly.
And there's something about that attention intent as well, I think, that they're looking for.
Everyone's looking at you live right now. And do you see the painting behind me?
Yes.
Okay, so that is done by a psychic artist, Alex. And she did this for me in 2015. This is what she sees behind me every day. Now, this is my left side because it's the way the angle is. And notice how light the energy is on this side, like right here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, it's dark, which is the right side. So that's what I get all the time. And you get attacked by that type of energy every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no such thing as, oh, I shut it off. Good luck with that.
Well,
yep, that is something that I have heard a lot about, and we've had a little bit of experience with that ourselves. But the problem is, like, once that door is open, like, it's hard to turn it off, right? You want them to stop talking to you. You spend so much time trying to get them to talk to you, and then they don't stop.
And they continue. Trust me. You're almost asking them to say, "Hey, I work between the hours of 9 to 5, not 3 to 6 like you guys do. Like, like, come on, like, take it easy."
Right.
Right. Can't shut that stream down, unfortunately. Right.
No, you can't. And if somebody says they can, I would start to question how they can shut it down, because it is literally impossible. I get words and people talking to me at all times. It's not like, and it's not menacing or troublesome, or I can't focus on my daily routine. I grew up like this. It's not like it just showed up. So I know every time I'm doing something like this, it's just been there forever. So I don't know any different.
That was where I was going to go with this next question. How and when did you start? I know this is like the basic question, but we would like to know.
No, please do. I want people to understand. For me, and I tell this story every time, and I love it. I was 5 years old, just turned 5. It was October. And I had buried my G.I. Joe with a space capsule in the sandbox. Lost it, forgot all about it, didn't remember, asked my mother where it is, she didn't know. So come next spring, I'm sitting in the same sandbox, and there's a man at the very far corner of the sandbox, and he says, "Hey, don't you think it's about time that you found your friend in the sand, and now you can play with him again?" And I said, "I lost him. What are you talking about? I can't find him." He said, and he pointed to exactly where it is. I get my plastic shovel, my little scoop, dig it out, and there it was. That was my very first intuitive psychic encounter with a spirit.
Wow, that's a good one. I like that.
It's very nice, right? And they are nice. 95% of the time, they are nice. It's when you provoke the evil.
Right.
That's
like people, right? Because most people you meet are nice. Even if they're a little impartial toward you, they don't go out of their way to like make your life harder in some way and attack you or, knock things off shelves, although that seems to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like they're pretty good. And it's kind of like the alien abduction phenomena, which I also talk about a lot. And it seems like a lot of the messages that people walk away with are positive. They're like pro-humanity, but there's a portion of them that are not, and are very negative.
Well, Chris, the negative ones that I feel are the ones, just like I think aliens would make mistakes, just like humans make mistake in an operating room, per se, observation room. They didn't give you enough anesthetic, or they didn't do something. And all of a sudden you're waking up during this trauma, and a doctor will say, "Get that gas in him and put him asleep. He's not down yet." And I think the ETs don't think about it that way, and you've been examined, and I think that's where the pain and the suffering and the anxiety that comes with it when they return you, because it's a memory that they can't lose.
Interesting. What do you think the spirits want with humanity when they want to communicate? Like, what is their kind of goal or end game?
It's a lot of spirits when they're talking to us. They're talking to us with such a candor. They're not like in your face arguing or fighting with you. Some of them are crying and they want to get a message to their family saying, I'm so sorry that I passed away so soon. I didn't expect this, but this was part of my soul life. Can you go and tell Uncle Jim about that? And I'm going, I don't even know Uncle Jim. How am I going to tell this guy? And then you ask them for an address and it seems like they don't give it to you, which is harsh. But then I end up meeting someone in a mall named Uncle Jim that I heard. And I just said, hey, I got a message for you. And I don't even know that person, but they know I'm going to meet them.
Wow.
That's interesting. You would obviously agree with this. One of the most common things that we've gotten back with like our ITC research is two phrases. One is help me.
Yes.
And the other is get out.
And
So,
seem to be
we're going to
really-
help them, but then we're
really
going to get out.
common, Right.
Right.
Common EVPs for people. We notice it with people in our circle and, you know, the research we do and we talk to, they get that a lot too. So we don't know what kind of help they want. Is it more like they need help crossing over? And then why are they telling us to get out?
they are very, very much insecure and unhappy when they are back in this light, or they're doing a loop where they're doing the same old death over and over and over again, or they're absolutely lost. A light is not above you, below you, left to right. The light is there for that specific spirit to see, and it's for them that to be called into. So what you try and do is slow that spirit down, say, hey, I think your grandmother's calling you. I think your brother's calling you. Stop for 2 seconds and just listen to them. Two things happen. 95% of the time, the spirit is upset that I can see them because they want to be incognito. But they're also looking for that extra vibe or help because they try and listen to the living and just say, maybe that's right. Maybe that I should be in the bathroom and waiting for the light to open so I can go home, or I don't belong here anymore. What they're looking for is a small explanation or a small feeling of hope that they can feel, touch, hear music. A hand comes out to grab this light and this entity, and in the light they go. But I'm going to tell you, Chris and Christine, there is no thank you with that. They don't turn around back in the light and just poke their head in and just say, hey, thanks a lot. I found myself. You know, you don't hear a thing from them, but you hear peace, you hear tranquility and quiet. And that's what I'm surprised about. And that's what I love, because you're not going to get the thank yous. It's a thankless job. Okay.
The more I look
Actually,
at that painting behind you, the more I like it.
Yeah, me
By
too.
the way,
Thank you.
really cool.
But
Thank you.
I'd like to also know, and this is a big question as well, is it'll be help me, Kristen, or help me, Chris. So how the heck do they know our names already?
Oh, well, here's the thing that people have a hard time with. And I've talked to demonologists, I've talked to other professionals in the field. They have a file on us, like a doctor would have a file on us. And I think mine's about that big, just to let you know, but it's just, they predict if I'm going to turn left or right, or if I'm going straight, or if I'm going in. They will know that I'm not afraid to walk in. They know that I will not take shit from a poltergeist because I didn't invite them. You have no right to be here. Get the hell out of Dodge. Leave me alone. And if I'm not paying attention to them, the whiter, lighter, less expressive entities, spirits, they tend to gravitate towards the person who's removing that fear from them. And as soon as they get that, they just go to the light like in droves, hundreds. They just turn and go. It's amazing. Fun to see.
Now, once they hit that light, and it's hard for me to imagine. I mean, everybody's talked about the light and then what it means and being this sort of heavenly thing. They're gone. They don't visit back again sometimes, or
I'm telling you with my heart, that we have an intended soul purpose to come here and learn, observe, do this, do that. And that could be your serial killer, to your doctor, to your lawyer, to your teacher, to a child that's going to die at 5, to someone that's going to die at 100. If you're going to die of cancer, if you're going to give birth to a baby, all of these things you need to experience in a soul life so that you can get stronger and stronger to move on. As we all know, or I know, and it's my intention to not prove it because I can't, there's more dimensions, there's more galaxies. We are just not the only people on Earth right now.
We definitely agree with you.
yeah, I believe you. I think there's a lot to be discovered in that realm. maybe through quantum mechanics. That hasn't really been proven yet.
No,
Like that,
spectrum of our eyes, the
focusing on
spectrum.
electrons
Yep.
and having them behave differently. Just our intent does it. So I think there has to be some tie into manifestation in there and what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's individual to everyone, and just
Because the
our
spirits,
brains.
as we know, can manipulate anything. They can manipulate apps. They can manipulate. I mean, if they can do the things they can in your house, if you've ever had an experience, any of our listeners, they can like really with
They
their
can-
intent.
dowsing rods work.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything works. We always say that, and that's
They
so
can use
true. I used to be really skeptical of like the different applications out there, and I was thinking about it too logically. Like, well, how do they go in and know how to code it so that the meaning the ghost, the spirit, to answer the randomly selected questions or words, a bank of words, whatever it is, and it just I've seen it work too many times. It's just that it's their intent. I think if they intend to do it, it seems to happen if you're having that communication. Not that all communication from apps or any device is 100%, but when it's happening, I think it's just purely they want to make it happen, and therefore it does.
It does, right?
And they want to give us affirmation as well because they do want us to share our knowledge. They do want us to say that we're not alone. And you have to understand, I'm 62 now, so I'm one of the elders from my family where I've lost everyone who has passed. And they were very frightened because they had Catholicism only, and they were one-lined, and they had no experience other than what they read in a newspaper, and it was very, very closed. Everything was never shared. In today's day and age, since 1998, for me, everything exploded. The internet, information highway, everything that we have, we're getting more information. More people are showing up, more people are seeing things. So now we're more open to what we see. So when we go out to explain it in the field, people are starting to understand it more because there are a lot of patterns. There are a lot of different things that happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's some very, some interesting kind of strong comments here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm stuck
bring
on
one
this
up.
one.
Here, this is from Courtney Starling. She says her son died in June of this year. He asked me for help. I am states away. He was found 5 days later, and he sent me a text that read, "The beast is upon us. I believe this needs to be investigated."
That gives me chills.
Do you get any feeling from that?
Well, Courtney, I'm very, very sorry for your loss. I truly am. But I understand that I'm also being told that this was your son's journey. I don't understand. The beast is there. There's got to be something that is not telling you the truth in that one, and I'm sorry. I don't think that children are locked up and held captive in our spirit world. There is no white energy that will allow that to happen. And I think that your son is safe and sound. And he will communicate. He will talk to you in your left ear. He will give you a hug. He will give you a kiss on the forehead, and things will start to feel a lot better. You're just still in a lot of shock and a lot of unhappiness because you lost somebody that was so dear to your heart.
That actually makes me very emotional right now. I'm very pathetic, so I want to cry. I'm sorry.
You also do readings for the public, right? They can book a session with you, a psychic medium session.
Yes, they can.
The website and the ticker is jimhuntofficial.com for our listeners that can't see it.
See,
Yeah.
I just had something in my left ear tell me to F off, right?
What?
So,
Interesting. I get stuff in my right, so I'm going right with you.
whoa.
Well, and here's actually a comment about
Yep.
such a thing. I'm going to bring this up. Natalie Mosley says the left-right thing is interesting. Had that happen myself with alien-type entities. Would not go to the left side. That's how I knew them, as they pretended they were good.
Interesting, Natalie. Very interesting.
All right.
Cool. That's awesome. And it's how I perceive or work with the energy like that. The right side to me is always different. They're the first ones that want to talk to you, by the way. You'll always get information on your right side. Always. Because they want to confuse you. They want to throw you off the path. They want to try and take you into a different realm, or they want to see how frightened you are. And they get so angry. But on the left, it's like the spiritual side, the heart chakra side. You are protected by great energies, angelics, your past lives, your old contracts that still people are protecting you. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Wow, that's interesting. I was in a hospital
Yeah.
I had a heart attack, and I've had two of them, unfortunately, to go out my medical stuff. But I remember sitting on a stretcher, and I had a really clear audience experience, and it was in my left ear, and it was like I could almost feel someone's face, like feel the pressure on my face of somebody reaching, like swooping in and going, Chris, and I just said my name, and it was really loud. There was nobody around, and it, when it's right there in your ear. It was so crystal clear, and I could actually feel their presence. And that sounds like what was going on there.
That was, and we talked before we went on air. That was your grandpa.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's just doing that now. He's petting you on the head, and he just says, "Enough with the sugar."
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
That's actually pretty appropriate.
Yes, that's actually, it's confirmed right there.
Confirmed.
Sorry.
Confirmed. Well, that's great. And as anybody who's just caught that, we were talking a little bit before the show, and Jim gave us a little insight into some of the spirits around us.
Which we appreciate. Thank you.
Around you, which
again, you're very welcome. I love doing this when it's helpful and we can identify, and I can get some affirmations from it. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
That is great. So we talked a little bit about the demonic spirits. We talked about shapeshifters, but you've also had experience with aliens, Bigfoot, elementals.
Oh, elementals. I love them.
Probably some other cryptids out there in your journeys. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so the Bigfoot is not a big deal, but it is. I was in Denver. I was doing a week of psychic readings at a very high-end resort, and it was my off day. I needed a break. I went out with the convener of the place, and I said I would love to go for a walk in part of the mountains, and so off we went. Now, I grew up with family who were hunters, so you learn the smell of an elk or a bear or a deer. You just do, and you know the scents. But what I smelled was not any of those, and she picked it up too, and it was really, really throwing me off. And it was like I had never smelled anything like that putrid in my life. We thought it was a dead animal. We went back the next day; it wasn't there. But where we exactly went, where our little boots were, there was a footprint and trees that were actually bent into shape away, saying that was a path, or that we can't go there. Do not go any further than these trees, from what I was explained. That's my only time with a Bigfoot type feeling that I had. So it's nothing like crazy what everybody goes through, because that freaks me out. That's something that does freak me out, because they are dimensional and they are portal. They go from one portal to another, for sure.
Interdimensional. Mm-hmm. Now, you said dimensional.
Right. Moving into dimensions.
Okay.
Moving in between dimensions. Sorry. Yes. And,
We've never seen a Bigfoot ourselves. I know our show is called Bigfoot and the Bunny, but it's for a completely different name.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like we were talking about earlier about the knock.
Yes.
So
yeah, it was just it's a little story we had. So it was something between us that seemed to be kind of catchy.
Yeah.
And we made the name of the show, but I wouldn't mind going footing sometime. I mean, I love the forest. So
yeah, nature is where we belong. Believe us.
Okay, but you understand that a lot of intuitives, a lot of psychics, a lot of mediums, they need that grounding by taking walks in the bush, by taking walks in a park. The elementals, if you're good to the elemental's good to you. And they will shower you with energy, revitalize you, help you. They would go through your system, your body system, and try and cleanse you. They would try and remove stuff from the bottom of your feet, like tarry type stuff. They would do so many things to help you. It's crazy.
That's why I love the elementals.
Do you think they're responsible? Oh, I'm sorry.
If your feet,
sorry. If you think your feet are aching because of poor shoe wear, and people say they get the best shoes on, the best track boots, you are being released the energy that is being pulled out of your feet back into the elemental world so that they can chew it up and throw it away because you've been so helpful to other people, especially empaths.
Wow.
So a bit like grounding. Beautiful. And doing the root chakras and extending your energy into the ground, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. But don't screw with them either, right?
Like, no, they're very they're tricksters as well.
Yes.
And they can follow you home.
Yeah, there's no happier place
Yes, they can.
in the forest, mountains for me, and the beach.
That's all of it
where
for
we
us.
feel pretty naturally grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they could be responsible for ports, or if you're familiar with that term, ports?
No, I'm not. Sorry, that's new for me.
Yeah, it's new to us too. So we actually just came across some information about this, and what it's a reference to is the manifestation of objects, seemingly through like some kind of psychokinetic energy, be it, I don't know, spiritual being or something like jewelry just literally falling out of the sky. So that
little rocks, anything that
can be all kinds of things apparently, and it's
jewelry.
Almost sounds like a magic trick, and a lot of people don't take it seriously. But there is some research that points to this being like a legitimate phenomenon that has occurred.
So, what you're saying there, I only identify on one of my shows is where they would leave nickels or dimes in between archways of doors.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've heard that before as well.
But that's happened a lot. That's happened on many of the episodes that I've done, actually.
Why do you think that is? Why would they leave the coin?
They're letting me know that they're there. They're letting me know that we're going to have fun tonight. We're not here to harm you. And some of the cameramen on there just are flabbergasted because they go, "I just found a nickel," and I'm going, "That's awesome, good for you." But they won't go in the room without me, so it's kind of fun.
Nickel richer and 5 cents wiser.
Yep.
And Marie asks, do you believe more and more portals are opening up in the world?
Oh, here's the thing. We've had these portals here forever, Anne-Marie Young. They've been here forever. We are just now starting to explore the paranormal world. So they've always been there. We're just now finding them out.
I love your insight on everything. This is great. I really do.
I'm just being honest. It's what I think we should be telling everyone.
Everybody.
It's
I don't like
it. It's not all bad.
No.
We agree with you 100%. We made that point other times because it's not all bad. And respect, I think, is not shared enough. Like, we really respect those that have moved on. And if we're in a location that's reputed to be haunted, or we're in a cemetery or something like that, like, we're cleaning that cemetery. Like,
we bring garbage bags
more
with
than
us.
we go in with.
And we do. There's one thing we do not do. We do not taunt the spirits at all. We're very respectful to them.
I've heard about you, so I give you full kudos for that one because I've asked around. So that's cool.
Oh, good.
Well, thank you.
That wasn't a psychic thing. I didn't read that. I didn't read it off of you. I know you're both empathic. That's for sure. But Kristen, you're fully empathic, and you worry about the death of people because you were and I'm sure you felt comfortable in Salem, but you were a midwife back in the 15th century. So that's why you might have felt like you were at home.
Wow, that's
great
to know. Thank you.
Yeah, and you love the idea of being motherhood.
Yes,
thing, obviously.
I'm nursing as well.
Nursing. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that does fit you pretty well.
In the 1500s, you said?
I've got you from 1510 to 1549, which is a long life.
Jeepers. Thank you. The numbers and all.
Those are your souls, your protectors telling you that. And then when I look at you, so your heart chakra aura changes to a brighter purpley color. Your third eye opens, and then your crown turns into a rainbow. So it's like giving me affirmation that those things have happened.
Wow. Thank you.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie and I were both talking when we went to Salem that both of us went, and I don't know if it was to a different medium or the same medium, but we went at different times, and they said that we had a rainbow eye. And I think that's
cool.
what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking. And they're people who get those. We're a force to be reckoned with because we're so empathic. We don't we don't exaggerate, right? We want to share what we have. When someone doesn't believe us, it actually breaks our heart. It doesn't we're going, I'm not here to just bullshit you. This is what I'm seeing. I'm sorry if you think it's my imagination. I'm not trying to hurt you. And then Sometimes I lose sleep over it, and I truly do. But now I'm learning to say, it's water off a duck's back. I'm not going to convince you yes or no. I'm learning. I'm learning.
I think we're all learning at this point. We're all still learning. There's a lot to learn still.
But I'm telling you, we have to learn faster, quicker, because there is an energy that I've never felt before since 2019, and it gets stronger and stronger every year. Every year.
I feel like it is growing, and it seems like paranormal phenomena is growing. It's something I hear people talk about and have for like maybe the last 4 years or so. Like, I hear getting a lot more data. It seems like there's a lot more things going on.
Yes, and I hear a lot of people say that the veil is thinning more.
Mm-hmm. It is. 100%. I don't think that we have much choice. The connection of the spirit world, good, bad, and indifferent, are talking to all of us. We're just hearing it more often. We're seeing things. We're not passing it by like our eyes are deceiving us or our hearing is deceiving us. We hear and see what we've been seeing. We're just afraid to talk about it. But I am no more. I am going to be just like, I'm going to be the motor mouth of paranormal. I really awesome. Will.
Right on. Well, you're welcome to come on here and talk anytime. Courtney from Starling, who mentioned earlier, asked about out-of-body experiences, and she had mentioned a sleepwalking incident and another comment. But what are your thoughts on out-of-body experiences?
Okay. So this is where my friends go, and they look at me when I see them after they listen to a lot of these shows. They go, "You're weird," but it's okay. I love them all because I've been able to hand pick the ones that I love. They say if you feel that kind of thing, where's it come from? And it's you're attached to your body through a full series of energy. And there's little beacons that can call us back, and we can go back to our old lives. We can go to the UK. We can go into any place, and we feel like some place is familiar because there's a little beacon there that lets us know that we've had an out-of-body experience and we're feeling where we used to be. I died when I was 5 in a drowning that I don't completely remember, but I was told. But no one has the idea of how I was pulled out of the water, lifted up onto a 3-foot deck, and started spewing water out when there was no such thing as mouth-to-mouth or recovery. It was the 1960s. So they didn't have anything like that. And all I had was a great big red mark on my chest as if I was being picked up by my body and placed on there because it wasn't my time. And even at 5 years old or 6 years old, I remember that clearly. It's not your time.
Wow. That's been said a lot too. When you get NDE, near-death experiences, they say it's not your time.
Yeah. And that's a given, and it's not long before TV or television would talk about it, or any other podcast or radio show. No one talked about that until lately, and I've been told that it's not your time. It really isn't.
Yeah, you hear that exact phrase. I hear things like that also leading to more psychic abilities. Same thing with alien abductions and things that have been termed contact modalities. Like people seem to, once they have that kind of experience, get even more abilities than they had prior.
I think that when we're in the presence of ET of any sort, and I call them grays. I really rarely call them an ET anymore. They're grays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the reason why I call them grays is because they're gray.
Do you find them to be tall, short, any?
They are of all different kinds, like we are as human, different races, colors, creeds, languages. But I'm going to be honest, because I spoke about this before. Not one ET has turned around and said, "Hey, Jim, how are you?" They walk by you, they'll look at you, they don't greet you, they don't say anything, but they know that you can see them. And it's just like you're in a shopping mall and they just crisscross one another. They don't pay attention to one another unless it's part of their own species or where they've passed on or they've died here on Earth. They stay here on Earth. It's weird, but that's until they get called, I guess. I'm not sure. But they've never talked to me. but you can feel their energy, you can feel their essence. There's no smell, there's nothing that connects that way to them, but you can't see them. They're just like dead spirits, but in a gray form, an ET form.
And that's why you feel like they're non-human, because they don't have things like smell or human. I don't know.
Their actions are so different. It's like watching the Matrix as they go, because it shudders when they move. There's an energy that catches up to their entity, their full entity, and it's as if they have a train of energy that follows them. It's so weird for me.
This question kind of ties into what we were saying about the interdimensional and our own reality, and maybe going to even on a quantum level as to why that happens. Nobody knows yet. But do you feel like they experience time the way we do, or do you feel time is a human experience?
Time is a human experience. We're feeling time is just a human experience, and when you get to be my age, even at 60, you're going, life is short now. There's not much time left. What the hell's going on? And we don't realize that. But once your soul leaves this body, this earth, time, there is no time. You can be here in 10 years or 100 years, but you're also here to experience a lot more often than normal. I think we are in this earth because we have to have multiple lives to be able to build ourselves to a higher level than what we are today.
Almost like a training ground.
It is. Oh, it is. It's our battlefield. And I trust the dead before I trust the living.
I like that, and I wish I had a shirt that said that.
That would be a very cool shirt. You have to make that shirt. That's a pretty good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Lots of comments out there, and I know some people are kind of asking some reading-esque type questions, and we'll get back into those maybe in the second hour a little bit. People around them, and
can I say something to all my Canadian people?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I meant to do it before. Happy freaking Thanksgiving, Canadians. Just enjoy your turkey, enjoy your family. It's been like almost 2 years since we've really got a chance to go out and be with family.
Yes.
Just enjoy, drive safely, have a lot of fun. If you're listening to us on the air right now, make fun of me in a nice way and just send some nice comments, but just be careful going home, everybody, please, and enjoy your family. Hug your grandkids if you have them, tighter than you would even hug your kids. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
That's right. It is Canadian Thanksgiving. We have lots of Canadian friends out there too.
We do.
Seems like Canada is just a nesting ground for paranormal
hotbed
enthusiasts.
It is. You should see Ontario. It's crazy. It is.
In Canada, then I can tell. It's odd. And I suppose it's true. I mean, I just notice it because, hey, they're Canadian.
Hey.
We
have a thing for Rush.
Oh, yeah. Rush is one of our favorite bands.
And we have this idea that like everybody in Canada must listen to Rush because Rush are just so awesome. That's probably not true. It's just urban legend that everybody listens to them up there. But.
We actually would like to get some Rush beer. I don't know if you've heard that come out.
Oh, yeah. Rush has a beer out now.
Yeah.
But they're not
I haven't heard. Is it brewed here in Canada?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I got a friend that can bring it to you. Okay, cool. I'll remember that. Thank you.
I need some sent down right away.
Yes.
All right. We'll work on that.
Used it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
All right. Let's see what we got. Here's another question from Zen Benefil. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If we could only understand that there is not death, it's our attachments to form that gets in the way of natural communication with our friends and relatives, even those that we may not have a physical relationship. And then he puts it's in the eyes. I think he's saying that the difference is like our physical form just being, victim of our perceptions or five senses keeps us from better communicating with the dead.
So, for me, to do a reading on a phone is not going to be as accurate as if I see you in person or through the new technology that we have. The eyes are my way to communicate, and I've been like that since a kid. And it's not that you can, where psychology and the psychological assessment of movement, eye movement is giving you away. That's all hypnotism, and that's great, and it does help a lot of things. But I read directly through the eyes. I can see your lives through your eyes. It's
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
That's really interesting.
It's
I've
been
never
like
heard
that forever.
Wow. That's great.
Hmm.
Excellent.
More.
All right, well, yeah, we get some more before they get too buried. I guess I'll bring a couple of these out. Let's see here. Donna Partlow says, please could you tell me how many guides I have? I'm a sensitive, empathic, medium healer, please.
Okay, if anyone's going to start asking questions like this, and I should have asked this at the beginning, sometimes just try and throw your birth date in too.
Okay.
Because sometimes the formation of astrology does work with what you have. If Donna is a Pisces, that would make a lot of sense because of the sensitive, empathic personality. But a medium weirdly goes with a Capricorn, a Libra, or a Sagittarius. Okay, and the healer side of us, it's believe it or not, half the time it's just a Sagittarius, a Libra, and a Pisces.
Wow.
Excellent.
That's what I learned.
Okay, guys. So if you do have a question like that, where you kind of want a little bit of a reading, it would be real helpful to include your birth date.
Thank you.
We'll
Sorry.
pass that along. Donna said she's a Cancer, 7/15/64.
Okay, so Donna's left because this is the automatic that I get. So the reference from her grandmother is that she always hid behind her hair since she was a child, and she did not feel the enough strength to take on what she needed to, so she always felt left behind. And that's why the empathic side is growing stronger and stronger each time. But every children will gravitate to her because she will give them hope and peace that they can't get from their own family members. So the empathic side makes a lot of sense. She's been a parent forever in all of these past lives, but she needs to give up a lot of the contracts that she has so that she can move into a different soul life. She's been stuck at 7, 8 for a very long time. There's 10 soul levels for me.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
Well, that's interesting.
Can
we talk a little bit about
elaborate
that?
On that, please?
Okay.
Drink first.
Take a drink. Take a breath. We're in no hurry. We got all the time in the world. We like that.
No problem.
Have laughs and enjoy.
Yes.
I should have had a beer. No, just joking. Joking.
Oh, that's coming
and make
up
it
later.
Rush, please. Rush beer.
We'll probably magically transform into a beer later, and some Rush will be played.
It sure will.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You have
no
10
problem.
Levels of souls.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one is very Neanderthal in a way. It's just like you're always going to be led. You'll never. You'll always follow. You'll be working. You'll eat, sleep, and drink, work. You'll be a prisoner. You'll be a slave. You'll be somebody that just will not grow or is too afraid to move forward, ask questions. The number 2, I still carry on with the first soul level, but the number 2 soul level is all of a sudden now you're becoming a little bit more political, a little bit more involved, a little bit more, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to do something else. So those 1 and 2 gather, they're learning not to listen to everything. They still do, and they're still controlled, but then they're looking to see who they want to follow, just not follow anybody. Number 3, you're getting political, you're getting a little bit more emotional, and you're getting a little bit more independent. So now you're deciding where you want to live to be controlled. There's something like that for me. And so each state, by the way, each country has a different energy about them, and that'll take me years to get through, but every state is different. But
feel that as well. Yeah.
But if you get into levels 4 and 5, this is where the equality comes from. This is when you want to have a voice. You want to say who you are. You want to be the politician that you're following. You want to believe in, and you're going to grow with them. And that's as far as you're going to go. You're going to support that political realm. You're going to support that doctor. You're going to support somebody. You're going to support the leader of the castles and whomever else you want to do, but you're always still following someone, but you're starting to become more independent. Then you come into 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 and 7 for me is you don't give 2 craps about politics. You want to party, you want to learn, you want to travel, you're an artist, you're expressing yourself, you have the freedom of speech, you're doing all of those things, and all 6, 7, 8 levels right there, you become more spiritual to yourself. You're committed to yourself. You're not indignant by no means, but you're always wanting to learn and be creative. You get your musicians, you get your doctors, your lawyers, you get the people that really want to give a purpose. They're here to serve, to help, to learn, to grow, to make us feel better. So it's carrying. So you got those. Then you're 8, 9, 10, you become a little bit more spiritual. You've probably had 2 encounters with death, maybe 3 in the 8th level. You grow up quite quickly. So by the time you're 15, 16, you want to be that lawyer, you want to be that doctor, you want to be that bus driver or garbage man. It doesn't really matter, but you're starting to feel like you want that independence. You want to grow with it, and you want to be in front of all of that. The 8 is also where what we're doing for a living. We're more intuitive, we're more sensitive, we're empathic, we want to help the world, we want to share to the world, we want to show the world, but we're also still stuck in a little bit of politics because we're still afraid to speak. And then the 9, 10 is, 9 is doing what we're doing now. We're healers. We've seen multiple, we've been through multiple past lives. We've probably been here 50, 60 times. We've done it over and over and over again. We've caught up to ourselves, but we're the scientists who are helping you create. We're the ETs that are talking to the human race, and we intermingle with one another. The grays that will protect us. You're probably, and it's not about having millions, but it's a millionaire thing, and you have a lot of money, you disperse it, you share, but you also become more spiritual and loving yourself more, and you express that. And then 10, I think, is you let it all go. It's like Gandhi and all of these people that believe in certain things. They're going to live within Earth, love everybody, and just feel like they've done it all. They don't need to do it anymore. And then they just move on. They're martyrs, basically. And that's it. Sorry, it was a long one. Told you.
That's fine.
No,
I wrote them all down. How about
you
that?
should have a book on this, Jim.
Yes.
Because that was damn good.
Oh, for goodness.
Thank you. It's just there's a book out there, not from me, that sort of explains that, and there's a lot of people who are saying the same thing as I. It's just that I've always seen it that way, and I don't think that I can change. And if I write something, I really would have to take my time, but I'm a horrible author, and I think I can just speak it better than I can write it.
Oh, perhaps you need a ghostwriter.
Oh,
Whoa.
where's my
Oh, geez. That was a bad one. And I was
all
just
good.
trying to send myself a picture that I could share with you. Getting back to the reading thing, our friend Ann was hoping you could check into Ann's situation. She does give her birth date here, which is 11/6/1970. It's Anne Marie Young, and she is the person we went to Salem with this week, and she bought us these shirts. It was really sweet of her.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, and I have a picture of her that I might be able to share.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Cool. That's what I was just doing, was sending it over from this.
So sometimes I have to write some things down here. Let's see where I'm at. 11/6/70, right? Okay.
11/16, I think.
16. Okay, that's
it. Yeah, 11/6. No, you had it right. I'm
okay.
Sorry. I had it wrong because I'm flipping windows.
I'm being taught as a psychic medium. I have to listen to every word everyone asks me. It's just like, what? Okay. It's a thing. It's an OCD thing.
Is that, no, we get it.
No worries. You're spot on.
Okay.
I'll try to share the picture here if I can.
11/6. Okay. So, Anne Marie, there's a lot of strength here that you have. You've been held back since you decided to make changes at the age of 30. And 30 was your decision to control the atmosphere that you were in. It's not that people were telling you what to do, but you were tired of doing what people were asking you when you got nothing out of it. Now you are more creative, you're less angry, you're more into people who love you. You're not allowing people to use you as a doormat anymore. You're way too empathic, and you got to stop doing those things that you're doing. You need to make that inventory list of what you want to finish off here. You still have a long life ahead of you. And you have to change the idea that you are in control of what you want to do. And whatever your partner is saying, don't listen to them as much as you. I'm not being mean, but you have your own course. He has his, and you might be outgrowing some of that. I don't think that there's separation or divorce in any of that stuff, but I'm just saying you've outgrown a lot of the people that are around you, and that's why everything has changed for you.
That's excellent. All right, let me stop sharing this. There we go. Back to
that was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And says yes. So she's confirming that. Yeah, that's
cool. Thank you. Thank you. Now you see on my right, they just said that I don't deserve to talk to anyone, is what it says on my right here. You see?
Yeah, well, tell that to go to hell.
Oh.
That's what I would do. Also, there's Donna. Donna's been asking, so we need. I think it's Donna.
So
I think
Donna
was asking about. She was the Cancer, 7/15/64.
Okay.
And she's got a few comments in here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to parse them. They all kind of come up in one lump, guys, and I don't see all of them all the time. And Kristen's working comments too. We're on
I'm going 3
pages,
pages, 4 pages.
We're trying to kind of get through it a little bit. But I see you did ask how many guides. How many guides does Donna have?
So she's sitting with 3 right now. She's sitting with the surgeon that died of a heart attack in Florida on a golf course, and he's there to help her slow everything down, stop playing with that, stop adding panic to her daily life, because she does it, and then all 5 guides get worked up.
Wow.
Okay, so interesting. You'll be moving state, by the way, and you'll be doing it right after your Thanksgiving. If not, you're doing it in February, and you'll have your job, your cake and eat it too, and you'll be doing a lot better than you think you are.
Excellent.
And Morris is the one guide that is trying to help you. And I don't know if it's even, sorry, it's not Morris, it's Monique. It's a very strong French woman, 19th century, turn of the century. She was a pharmacist. And she's watching out for her to make sure that she doesn't have these episodes of wanting addictions. It's weird. That's what I'm picking up.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, we'll let that simmer a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
for a letter.
Give you a little break too. On that. What do you recommend people do about, say, negative? And again, I really am with you when you say there aren't a lot of negative things out here. It's a select percentage, small, but to protect themselves. You mentioned earlier.
Okay, so there's
the victims, and what can people do that are some good steps? Most people know, sage, or what do you think in your world?
In my world, I carry a bracelet of hematite, cedar,
nice, yes,
moonstone,
I hematite myself.
Yes, he wears bracelets of hematite as well.
chassolite, rose quartz, and a little bit of peach moonstone and dark moonstone. Because it holds on to your heart chakra, so it protects your heart from being abused by the poltergeist itself. It doesn't allow it to penetrate your energy by saying, "Oh, you're really, really fat," or "You're really ugly," or "Your eyes are horrible," or they would do anything to really throw you off. And so you do that. You put cedar in your home all over the place. Just put pieces of cedar everywhere. Say your own prayer. When you go and smudge your home, you walk in from left to right, just like I listen to left to right. When you walk into the house, you walk in with your left foot, you smudge the home, and you stay to the left. You go through everything, and you come out the same door that you left. You don't go out the back because you came out the front. That's not how it works. You need to return the energy, and just before you walk out that same door that you walked in on, you say your prayer, or you tell them to get the F out and never come back again. They have no permission to be here. They leave. If they don't leave, those are a lot of issues that have to be dealt with on a higher level. And then people can do remote viewings. They can do all of those things. But 95% of the time, they go because they're tired of you saging and telling them to get out.
In Chinese washing, if you have that.
Right?
Yeah, really, that's what we do as well. So that's excellent.
Yeah, I haven't heard that of cedar. And you said peach moonstone along with
Peach moonstone is there's a lot of healing qualities in there for women, and if women have fertility issues, they should be wearing peach moonstone around their heart chakra up against their skin. It helps fertility, but it also protects you at the same time because it's dealing with your heart and it's dealing with those emotions. It's for the women species basically because they're the ones who provide us with the most amazing children in the world.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome. That is really
That's
cool.
what I have. I have not peach, but I have the rose quartz that was given to me.
Beautiful.
And that's what I keep around my.
And I like
And
that
rose
because I think it, I like the magnetic properties of it, and I like magnets in general to either repel or push things away.
And the hematite, it confuses a lot of the little minions, the little troublemakers, because they don't. Hematite can make you feel block your chakras so that you seem invisible to them and they can't see your weaknesses. You always protect yourselves. As soon as you know that, oh my God, I can cry at the drop of a hat. So what you want to do is wear something around in between your throat chakra and your heart chakra, not to do that. So you wear something like, citrine. If you wear citrine, that'll help with the emotion. And it's that beautiful little, this is the one that you can put in your wallet, and that's the one that sits on my desk.
Oh, it's nice
Yeah,
piece of
nice.
it.
Yeah, pretty.
And it's there to protect. It's there to help you. It gives you confidence, and it makes you move forward. It's always good to have one of those things when you're looking for a job.
As well as less vulnerable to emotional control. So if you're feeling inclined
100%.
emotionally, like you don't want to get messed with, that seems like a great thing to carry with you.
You better go
It
get
is.
a huge chunk of that because I need it really bad right now.
Oh no, I'm doing Reiki on both of you right now, so I'm just trying to clear everything. So
thank you so much.
Back there. We need new skeletons.
Yeah, we need to go to the skeleton.
That's all we want for Christmas this year is new skeletons.
Do you see where I'm keep moving up like that? Bad day.
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to ask. Donna said just asked who is her third. She missed. Is up there on your side. She missed who her third guide was.
Oh,
you mentioned
sorry, it was
Monique
and
Monique, and I thought it was Maurice, but it was a Monique, and it was like a health professional, like somebody who was trying to help, right?
I believe so. She was a French.
Yeah, she was French. She was very protective. She was trying to help her stop with addictions.
That's what it was. Yes.
That's what that was. She was worried about any form of addictions that she could get, and she's blocking that.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Do you want to try another one of those?
I'm good with whatever you guys are here. I'm here for.
I don't want to delude you with readings because Jim is available for readings. You can book readings.
Yes, you can.
JimHuntOfficial.com, and you can book time with Jim, and you can get really in depth. This is just a radio show, so this is quick, off the cuff kind of stuff, but it seems to be really good.
I also tell the Americans that you guys save a lot of money because it's 30 cents on the dollar when you book, right? So. Everyone's the Americans are saving. The Canadians are mad at me because my prices are too high. They're joking.
That's right. It's about 25% or something, right? 30%.
Yeah, it's about 30% right now.
Change. Yep.
Yep.
Let me see here. I'm gonna just scroll right through. I just had it up with some working flooding in. Okay. How about this one? Amelia Langdon Pleasant says, I'm struggling. My date is 8/14/61. I would love to hear your thoughts.
So Leos are going through a lot of turmoil because they've wanted to make a lot of changes in their lives. And over the last 6 years, the changes that they've made are based all on emotion or their inability to feel like they're in control. So what happens is, it's not that they have, I think, psychological depression. It's emotional depression because they feel like they haven't completed their tasks. But everything starts to change in 2022. There's quite a bit of enlightenment, and the Mercury in retrogrades will not affect the Leos as much as they will the rest of the birth signs. So Leos and Cancers and Virgos will get a break next year with the Mercury's in retrograde. So a lot of things are going to start to change, but stop always having that panic mid-month because it doesn't deserve you. Just let it go because no one's going to hurt you anymore. I promise. And I was told that by her grandmother.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. What do you recommend people do that are interested in becoming more psychic, having the ability to read other people, want to build their psychic strength? Is there any kind of thing you would recommend that they do?
Get ready for this.
Oh boy.
Stop judging. Stop judging yourself. Stop judging the person that you think you're going to read. We're not here as a judge and jury. Some people who are intuitive think that they need to give them the almighty view, what is happening, why it's happening, because of these reasons. A lot of the reasons we as psychic mediums give information is because there's a message to be held, because you haven't outgrown the last soul life, and why not move forward? White light yourself first and foremost. Protect yourself first. Do all of those things that are important. Try not to be anywhere in dysfunctional energy, because if you're going to say, I'm going to go read my friend and she just had a bottle of wine, you're going to get the worst reading in the world because it's already depressive. They're already going to be combative. There's a lot of different things that you have to look at as to who you're reading. And it's almost like you have to profile the person before you start reading them. Don't just go in and just say, you know what? This guy's going to have a heart attack and he's not going to live the rest of his life, so why am I even going to bother talking to him? Our job is to tell people that. They might think that we're crazy, but we're not. You walk up to them and just say, my name is Jim Hunt. I'm a psychic medium. I have a message for you. They're going to either tell you to F off or they're going to listen to you. 95% of us want to listen to what we have to say. And all I would say to him, when was the last time you saw a doctor? Because your grandfather's telling me you need to go to the hospital. Off they go, and they get checked. Their heart needed to be checked. They needed surgery, or they needed a stint. They were having a hard time breathing. And that's happened to me in real life.
Excellent.
Wow.
You mentioned white lighting yourself. When you said, do you mean like meditate or?
I don't know how to meditate. I'm 62. I'm going to be honest. I will listen to some Rolling Stones, some Pink Floyd, watch the fish in the aquarium, and just chill. Have a drink.
You're a man after my own heart, because that's how I do it. I listen to music.
That's a whole different Netflix and chill right there.
It is. Totally. I don't even sit in darkness. I love music. Music is the essence for me of almost everything. I lose time. I lose all of that because I'm listening to what the author is singing, the artistic person that's coming out. And that gives me peace because there's always a message in music.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We love music. It's a big part of our lives. You see the guitars behind us. And
yes.
Kristen loves rocking out.
I do.
To
everything.
The music and
Godsmack. They all have especially Disturbed. Disturbed. I don't know if you know who they are.
We like a lot of heavy bands.
Yes. No. I grew up with Def Leppard and Deep Purple, Zeppelin.
Love all those.
Yeah. I like Disturbed because most of their songs are about mental health, and they really push go get checked if you feel, depressed.
I tell everyone right away when I see the depression or a color in someone, or clinical. There's a difference between a clinical depression to me and an emotional depression for me. If you're having a broken heart because you've lost somebody, that's going to go away in time if you work on yourself and find out why this happened, and don't convince yourself that it's always your fault. you know?
Right.
Could be somebody else because you could have outgrown them and they didn't catch up to you. There's always a reason. For the emotional depressed, it's hard to deal with. Like you can be stuck and you have everyone who loves you around you and you still don't feel good. But I swear to you, you're not alone because the spirits are the ones that are hugging you and keeping you at bay and making you say, I need to get that help.
What do you think about, before we go on, about negative entities or negative spirits sucking out your energy?
Those energy vampires are something to get rid of very quickly. This is where I tell people, your form of meditation, my form of meditation, you focus on you for, if it's 30 seconds, you are already letting those dark energies never control you, because they'll control you less for 30 seconds where you're going to get back your timeline, you're going to start feeling better about yourself, and they will just start dissipating and just walking away from you because you won't listen to them anymore.
Thank you.
Excellent.
But it's a lot of work, people.
It is.
Our friend Gail Heison's out there, says loves your shows.
Hi, Gail. We love yours
Small
as well.
Medium at Large, a podcast that we are super fond of, and she's been on here before, and we had a great time talking to her. She's awesome.
Our friend Robert Honings.
Robert Honings is out there.
You find him?
A lot of our buddies. Actually, I think I put up a comment from Robert already.
He asked a question.
Oh, he didn't? A new one?
Yes.
See, I don't get them all. We got all this high-tech stuff, and we've got screens everywhere. So if we look like we're busy, we're listening. Don't ever think we're not listening.
It's just we're
just trying to get our chats in order. And
because we're up on a bunch of like 4 pages.
I'm stuck in a little corner in my office, and I have a ring light and a microphone. So I'm always...
Well, yeah, we're doing our work, right? So here's our work here. How do you break a spiritual contract, says Petra.
Boom, boom. So fun.
That's a good one.
So I met with someone spiritual about a year ago, and I was freaked out because she said I had about 295 contracts in all the lives that I've lived. And I'm going, are you out of your mind?
Wow.
I didn't understand, and I didn't understand the concept. And then she slowly explained, in present day, I had to let go of my daughter's contracts, my wife's contracts, my best friend's contracts, because I was here and I was always trying to fix things, make things better, doing things for them instead of doing things for me when they have to do it. And I felt like letting go of the contracts in this day and age with the people that I love in front of me so that they can grow and do their own. I was breaking those contracts. But working with someone who can actually get rid of them, they're getting rid of them so that when you do pass on into another soul life, you no longer have those contracts that you have to fulfill anymore, because you ask your higher self what's going on.
Excellent. Just put her birth date there, so just looking to connect that to the spiritual contract.
I just asked Robert Honings. He's going to get it back to me.
That's really cool. That is interesting.
I told you I'm different.
I love that.
I love your perspective.
Yes.
And it's something I haven't looked into too much, like spiritual contracts and how that comes about. People feel like they're under contract.
And we do.
That was an excellent question. Great answer.
Thank you. Now, do you think that there's sort of a lot of people talk about spiritual warfare? Do you think there is a battle between good and evil?
Well, how do I answer that one?
That was Robert's.
Okay. When we went to school, we were drawn to different sects, not sects, like the brown nosers, the geeks, the troublemakers, the brainers, the
cliques.
Medium. Yeah. All the cliques. Thank you. The spiritual world works in the cliques as well. And if you notice that you have darker energy around you, you're either going to be curious and you're going to get involved with it, and then you're shit out of luck for a long time, or you're going to go towards the white, where they're going to give you the information. And you just have to have the courage to work with the dark and just say, hey, I'll take whatever you're telling me, but that's all I'm going to do. I don't need you in my life. But if you want to give me information, give it to me. Because I found that the dark can give you very quick answers, that you don't have to wait for the lighter energy to look up your file, tell you what's going on. Okay, yeah, you shouldn't be with George. George is not good for you. And the dark energy will just say, George is an asshole. Just stay away from him. Then you just have to figure it out. You'll feel it. You can feel the energy every minute. I'm actually cold on my right side right now. Whenever I do these podcasts, I get such cold energy, and I'm very warm on the left.
Huh.
Why is it with the cold?
The cold energy is because they are not giving off an energy per se. They're giving off an energy of cold to identify challenged or negative energy. When you're cold, you don't like it. So that's somehow the spirit world connected to that, and we don't like cold. I'd rather be warm than cold. So then I would look at the warm and just saying, wow, I can feel that, but holy shit, I feel this cold. I got to get out of that area. That's not what I like anymore. So it's always giving us messages, even in energy. So that's how I see it.
That's interesting.
I like that.
All right. I think I did find Robert's question that Kristen was pointed out, and I'll bring that up. Robert Honings asks, what are your thoughts about the spiritual awakening we are experiencing now, the so-called ascension or evolution of humanity? There is a spiritual war going on of good versus evil. What does spirit have to say in these regards? And ascension is a word that gets tossed around.
And he
a lot.
put his
Awakening,
birthday up as well.
I didn't see the birthday, but so because it's a question, so
we don't really, yeah.
Okay, so here's
and awakenings, and do you think there is a big, like a spiritual movement going on at present?
There is a shift of energy, and we've been taken advantage of on the negative side because of the situation that we've been in for the last 2 years almost, and we've seen it in the United States and across the world about good versus evil, even when you're alive, and how we see things differently. The spirit world is doing the same thing to us, where the darker energy is trying to control the light energy or push it away. And they're bulldozing us all the times. And what I'm saying to people is, you can look at dark energy and it can stay there. You put your hands away and just say, I don't need you. My hands will go on fire. If you have the confidence to tell the dark energy to go F itself, it goes. Because it knows that you're not going to play around or you're going to fight it. Dark energy just loves taking you over. The light energy will be there, and it will be saying, hey, read this, do this. We're giving you messages with numbers. We're putting you on this plane instead of taking that plane that's not going to nowhere, or you're taking a train, or you're getting a new job when you never expected it. You're getting good things to happen. You're not going to be a millionaire overnight, but you're going to get a job that's going to work for you for the next 10 years, where you can pay your bills and feed your family. Where the dark energy is going to have you on the street selling hot items that are out of a truck somewhere.
Or panhandling or something.
Panhandling, yes.
Right. And do you think there are energies, though, that are, you can just say, F off, get out of my house. And they say, no, F you, I'm staying. And for instance, things like, just randomly, Amityville Horror, right? The Amityville house in Amityville, New York. Very horrible thing that happened there. Do you think it was really something that they could have controlled?
Absolutely. When they didn't want to leave, they didn't want to, and they were staying because allegedly they couldn't afford to leave, I think it was.
Right, yeah.
So they stuck around for a little while. From what I understand through other psychic mediums that have been in that home, they were being told by the dark energy that everything will be fine and that they're going to live and everything is going to be okay, because that's what they want you to believe. That's the snake oil salesman. But the lighter energy is saying to them, you got to find a way to get out. You got to move with your children. You got to get out of there, which is the first thing that I would do. And I would tell somebody, I can't clear your house. I'm sorry. And I can't. You have to find somebody that can do an exorcism or control your home. If you believe in Catholicism, maybe you have to say your own prayer, use your holy oil, do whatever you need. but 95% of the time in that instance, they're not going to leave. They are going to stay there. It belongs to them, and or it's sitting in a portal that you can't move. You can't move portals. You can't say close up and you're out of business. It doesn't happen that way.
No, you don't think so? I do know a lot of people talk about that, like closing of portals and doing that. And I don't see them with my ability. So I don't know how it works. I couldn't tell if it was closed or not. Do you feel like they just stay open no matter what? It's just people change.
They're always open. They're always open. And it's just a choice that you're making. Just like we make a choice today and those portals open, but they go to different dimensions. And sometimes they just walk in and I'm going from your screen into another screen because I'm going into another dimension.
That's what I call passerbys. That's what I tell you. I think it's a passerby.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I dubbed them.
Do you think
that's awesome?
To things like ley lines, and what do you think of ley line phenomena? Because I know we're both a little cloudy and where exactly those lines are. You give that to Dr. Google and it'll tell you.
Or Wiki.
The roadmap is everywhere.
Picky Wiki.
You know, it's hard to... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you think they play into it? Like the portals, are they connections, like using these ley lines, like a
they are system? They are. That I think is part of the mapping system for them. That's what I believe it is, and a lot of them can leave and just go into something that where they want to go home and they don't want to be involved, but they leave a lot of residual crap behind them that we can't clear and we don't understand it or it doesn't feel right. But it's just a mapping system to me. I'm not totally well versed on it, but I've always felt it to be a mapping system.
It seems like that from people we talk to. That's the way they get around on that side, and using these portals as doorways to walk into people's homes, and then you have other things like geomagnetic energy that seem to seemingly play a role.
Totally.
On Knock Knock Ghost. Well, first, how did you get involved with Knock Knock Ghost? How did that come about? So
that came around with my wife, who's a professional stand-up comedian, which I love. I like promoting her because she's insane and it's crazy. And she met Richard Ryder, who was the co-host of Knock Knock Ghost, because he was looking for a genuine psychic to go and do a show with him and investigate a lot of haunted places. And Richard is very big in the comedy scene in Canada. He's part of the LGBTQ community. And he was very big on it, and he's been on Just for Laughs and a whole bunch of other comedy specials. So when I was introduced to him, that's when I met the producer of the show, the owners of the series. This is what we're doing. This is the concept. And I thought, I need to start making a name for myself. I really did, because I was sitting behind the scenes. And that's where it turned into what it is today. And now the show still has an amazing following. I mean, they're great on Amazon Prime. I mean, they're getting a lot of connections here, so it's fun to watch. And people like the show because I'm empathic to a point where I'm letting the souls go. I don't want them to stick around. I want them to go home. So that's how that started. It was a comedy show.
Wow. And what's your wife's name again?
Jill Knight, and it's Nighttime Comedy. KNIGHT comedy. And it's all one word. Take a look at her. She's insane.
That's great. Wonderful. Well, glad you get to promote your wife. Definitely.
Thank you.
As well. Absolutely. You're welcome. I loved it, though, on Knock Knock Ghost, because you guys break it up and it's fun. It's not dry. It's not a dry. You have to, if anybody, you really need to watch this.
And you do seem to be the character that doesn't take any guff. Like you're quite serious about what you're doing.
My job.
Your job.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because it was a job, and they wanted information and to investigate. And the greatest thing about that show that we did for a couple of years was I knew nothing about the places that we were going to. No history. They didn't let me know anything until we arrived.
Wow.
So the dry walkthrough, that kind of information, it was just like, whoa, this is kind of crazy what we're going into, which seemed a lot of forts, a lot of prisons.
Oh yeah,
and a haunted B&B.
And do you think that it's really mostly residual energy, or do you find that maybe just because tragic things happen in certain locations, trauma, that attracts active energy?
Trauma does attract energy because you're sitting there with trauma. You're sitting there where people were hung for no reason, or frozen to death, or beaten, or shot, or there were so many horrible things that happened in the turn of the century and during the Civil War and the wars and all of that, that people were still going through the loops of going through it over and over and over again. What you try and do is break them from that loop. Offer them something. I'm watching them go through this over and over again.
Like a cycle?
It's a cycle. Yeah, so the loop is a cycle. So they'll do it over and over and over again. And it's not entertaining to them. They're sad and they're frightened and they're going through it every day. And I just want to stop it and just say, go home.
Can you?
All the time.
Excellent.
I have the utmost confidence in what I do. And people have just said that they've gone, and they're not bad ghosts. They were just abused, just like we are on Earth. And they just don't know which way to turn. They can't see a light. They don't know why they're dead. There's so many variables in this.
So you're talking about residual, and the residual you were just talking about was a cycle, like a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you see it, right? And
you watch it. It's like watching a movie. It's ridiculous.
How do you help? How do you break that cycle and get them to go and make them feel comfortable?
Okay.
Is it depending on what you see and feel?
Yes.
Okay.
So, can I give a quick example?
Sure.
Absolutely.
My goodness, yes.
Okay, I'm a cyclist, so I ride my bike quite a bit, my little fancy bike, and if you go the paths that I do here in Toronto, you've seen cyclists that have been hit by cars or passengers or pedestrians just walking across the street and getting hit. So I was at this specific corner where this woman got hit. And I'm usually saying, hey, go to the light, everything's going to be okay. Or you walk with them as they're going through it all. They're not paying attention to you. And it was over and over and over again. I could not get this woman to stop getting hit in this intersection. So I had to think about it. I had to find out the history of who was killed at that intersection. I found out that she was a librarian and she was rushing to go to work, allegedly. So what I did was I grabbed a book and I put the book in the street on the crosswalk. She broke her own cycle by looking at the book. Why is a book on the street? I got her attention and I said, look, there's the light. Someone's calling you. Go. And she was gone just like that. You have to find things.
That's excellent. An excellent example.
That's a really good example.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. You were going to say something about about the rose quartz.
Oh, rose quartz is awesome in protecting you because it really is like throwing water on the Wicked Witch of the West. It just attacks them. It's like kryptonite to Superman. I don't know how else to explain it, but I have just watched people who wear that crystal and they just turn around and leave. They walk out of a room.
I like it, and I think it was meant for me because every time I put it on, I get chills and I feel love, very, very, much love in my heart.
So that's the polished one that I would wear with me.
Oh, that's really nice.
On the camera. So thank you. And this is a raw one.
They look like amethyst.
Yeah, it's like amethyst, right?
Yeah, it looks like amethyst. Yep.
Yeah, this one's more pink.
Well,
they're in the same.
It's
sorry.
Rose
Hang on, rose quartz.
No, that's okay. I love amethyst. Purple is my thing. Believe me.
Sorry. I had those rose quartz. Here we go. Here's my raw.
Nice one.
There's my raw.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's the tumbled.
Oh yes.
So what that does, it protects fertility. It protects women. It watches out for you. It incites positive energy. It takes away any. If someone's criticizing you all the time, have that. Put it. I tell women because my wife. She says, put it in the left cup of your bra and keep it there.
Oh my God.
And it's the left cup because it's the heart chakra side. So it's always healing and it's always recharging. And then just don't lose it down one of the air vents when you take your bra off. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
No, I'm laughing because our friend Anne-Marie Young was just talking. We had a long road trip, obviously. We were talking about that. She says she does
She
stuff
keeps
like
some
that.
crystals in her bra.
And she keeps a lot of things on the left side of her bra. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah. So
I said way too much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
our own show and tell as well. We've got some dark quartz there and amethyst and
Yeah.
I think I actually
Geodes are beautiful.
I'm pretty sure I got amethyst.
Oh,
But
stuff
I keep everything in the window as often as possible to give the energy and return it.
Okay.
Right.
So you like the sunlight
Sun
or
and
the
the moon.
moonlight or both?
Both.
Yes.
Right now the sun is in Libra, okay? As Aries is in Libra. And so I'm a Libra. So what happens here is everything is light. Everything feels good to me, even through Mercury in retrograde. But you always have to be aware of what's around you and pay attention to what you're doing. Again, I tell everyone, you white light yourself. If that's not working, take and imagine a mirror and have the mirror on introverted all around your body so that anybody that is sending you bad energy will just turn around and bounce right back at them and you're protected. But mirrors are a big, big deal for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain. Or Chris's neighbor has mirrors all in her windows.
They have mirrors in their window and they have their traditions. And I
It-
think of that too. And I've thought of that like being covered in mirror and it's to repel
Exactly.
whatever's coming at you if you feel like you're being attacked in some way. I think that's
Whenever I walk into any situation, I'm always prepared that way. Always.
Anne Marie says that is exactly what I do. So there you go. That's pretty cool. Now you guys use ITC a lot on your show, and I think that's great because we're big fans of ITC and spirit boxes and stuff like that. Was that you're doing, or was?
No, they wanted, because what happens here is the regular Joe, the regular Jill, they have situations where they need to feel or hear something that we do. The spirit box of any side will always, always give off some kind of information. You just have to listen to it very closely. And usually they'll give you the information that you're looking for. And a spirit box, they're drawn to energy and they go right for it. It's one of the best ways of communicating with the spirit world, 100%.
Excellent.
But I never used it until the show.
Oh, is that right?
No
okay,
kidding.
so I didn't know if you had a background in it. That's where I was going there.
No, not at all. Sorry, I just only used it in the
don't
show.
be sorry. We were
you guys
just
used it a
curious.
lot in the show. We did watch quite a few episodes, and I noticed you had the spirit box in a lot of them. So much so that I brought a spirit box.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Although I'm not sure what I'd like to do a little ITC experiment with you, but I'm not sure what kind of questions we should ask.
Well, I want to know if we should ask about Kristen and her about what you did in the Civil War.
That is very weird.
Right. I like that.
That is synchronicity right there. We were talking about that earlier in the Civil War.
Earlier, yes.
And you were involved in the Civil War. You were a gray coat. And
a man.
You were a physician that was so young. And
a sawbones.
all you did was saw bones.
Yeah.
And you cauterized man after man after man, boy after boy after boy.
Oh boy.
That's the empathic side of you.
Dr. Sawbones. People who don't know, that term actually does come from the Civil War in the U.S. because that was the way to handle things. They cut off so many limbs that they were referred to as sawbones. So that's true. Okay, well, we can do that, and hopefully this sounds okay. I've mic'd up.
It's really loud.
Okay. I've mic'd it up, so let's make it work. And
sure, let's do this. So what I'm doing right now, though, which you guys didn't do, I white lighted all of us.
Oh, thank you. I actually did that before the show. No lie.
I believe you. I just had to add to it. Oh yeah.
we appreciate that. We really do.
And for our listeners out there and viewers, you can't actually see the microphone of this, but it is here. How does that sound to you, Jim?
I hear enough of it because I have these amazing. It sits right in the middle of me.
All right, we are scrolling AM bands, and hopefully it's not too loud on the show. The levels look okay.
Okay.
I'm going to take a quick picture of that.
So ask the spirit box if they know who I am.
Do you know?
I already said yes.
Who Jim is? Can you tell us any of our names? Did you know, Kristen, during the Civil War, kind of hear a little yes on that.
I heard a yes, but I'm just like, because it comes in, see, it'll wake up more when I talk, you see?
Yes, it does it louder.
So can you tell me if Roger's beside Kristen? Something tried to say something.
Yeah.
Like,
are you Roger? Roger, did Kristen save your life back in the day?
And I get that same sound. And I did hear something else in there. I am recording. This obviously would have been a live stream, but I got a better recorder to play this back later as well.
Is Chris here to protect Kristen?
It's the same kind of sound, right?
Yeah.
I've heard a couple of things that sound like whispers.
What do I do for a living?
Read.
Are you here to help us? Do you like Chris's tattoo?
No.
No. It sounded like a woman's voice, too.
Yep. Would it be better if his tattoo was somewhere else? So when I ask, I feel like there's a Charles beside you now, Chris. Who's Charles? Are you beside Chris?
I'm just going to show this to the camera.
Yep.
So you can see it running. It's a shack hack. Charles. We've actually gotten that name. Oh, there it was. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I didn't hear what it said. You were talking.
Yep, I was saying Charles. So I wonder who Charles is.
Charles, did you protect Chris back in the 18th century when he almost drowned?
That's pretty cool.
Are you happy with Chris right now? Weird. I picked up something very faint. I am a Canadian. Somebody said that, so I just wanted. That was weird.
Wow.
That was really cool. Thank you for doing that with us.
Yes.
No problem. No problem. It's fun.
That was awesome.
I enjoyed the heck out of that. I think our listeners will
that's a treat for
too.
our viewers as well. And they get to see something that you might do on your show. So we really appreciate it. And I did hear some stuff. I'm going to play that back, and next week I'll let you guys know.
I'd like to hear.
Yes, we'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you. I was going to keep it short.
Put
We
it on
usually
Bigfoot
get
and
some
the bunny.
pretty legit answers, and we have gotten that name Charles. That always stuck with me because it was said funny the way it
It's
came
a good
across.
one. Charles.
He was quite protective of you. So, and I think it was both of you doing fur trading, hunting, and you were stuck in the water, and it was the currents of the spring as you were trying to bring everything back. That's what I was picking up.
Wow.
It's interesting. I saved a child, and I was a child, from drowning. I was a really good swimmer when I was a kid at an early age. And I always felt like there was something to that. He was going under. He went under the 3 times, and he was caught in a current in a swim. And
wow.
And I despised this kid. We were like enemies in summer camp. So it was big of me to go and save him, I guess.
That was.
But that was a contract for you, Chris. That was a contract.
So that's a spiritual contract.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, well, hopefully it
doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just like you look at yourself, go, whoa. But that was a release for you no matter what.
I've wondered if it played a factor in my life at some point, or kept me alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've had a few
crazy
experiences.
It's insane.
There was one more question I wanted to ask you.
That's my new book. One more question.
Oh, there you go. You really need to write one. We keep telling you that. But you've heard about the old hag syndrome, sleep paralysis. What do you believe? What, in your opinion, what do you think that is?
I do believe that it's not just one entity that can hold you captive like that. It's multiples. They can't work on their own. They're not that strong. And I think they work well in numbers, and they're there to frighten you. They're there to kill you. They're there to control you.
I agree with you 100% on that. Now that leads me to shadow people. What do you believe they're the same entity?
100%.
Me too. Thank you.
Interesting.
They're
Thank you for clarifying that.
The shadow people are unbelievable, and they are a controlled spirit, intelligent and manipulative, narcissistic. There's everything about them. They are really, really bad.
I grew up with that since I was very little, and I can't even look at these things. So I did too. Put that comment back. I heard a little girl say hello, and I thought it was that's why I keep tapping.
Okay. Joshua Dixon had posted, for those listening, that I heard a little girl say hello. And I
didn't hear it, so I'm sorry. But Joshua, how long ago was this? Was this like 28 years ago?
I think he's referring to the Spirit Box session.
Okay. Because I feel like there was something 28 years ago of a loss of a child.
I would let him answer that. In reference to the old hag, the little tidbit, we bring that up because I actually saw the old hag before I knew there was an old hag syndrome.
Oh, wow.
And it was just as they describe it, and it's been going on documented for hundreds of years, but it may be a lot longer than that, like an old crone. And the most common bit of phenomena that goes with that is she's sitting on your chest and people feel like they can't breathe, and they're in a moment of sleep paralysis. I felt like I was drowning. Actually, there you go, drowning, right?
That's right. You just said, yeah.
And I felt like I was drowning, and that somehow this old woman was chasing me with like the black nose, and this looked like a typical, like you would imagine a crone. And then I came across that history. So whether I'd seen it maybe subliminally somewhere, or just didn't notice it or retain it, I had that experience.
We retain a lot of spiritual energy and information that others don't have, Chris. So you never have to think about something that might have popped up in your past of things that you do. It's an actual history inside of you that is opening up other doors. You just have to look at yourself and just say, I'm taking that belongs to me. I'm going to say it because it belongs to me. Don't give us a second guess. You were actually very accurate in what you were saying. And I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just saying we have to deal with our words and what we do, because I listen to it every day. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of family because of what I do for a living.
Joshua replied, he said, the spirit box, but we lost my brother 5 years ago. I did almost die, though, 28 years ago.
Okay, thank you. I just couldn't make it up because I'm not with you. I don't have you in front of me, Joshua. But listen, your brother is the one that's protecting you 100%. I would tell you that, not just because it's said there, but he's the one who stays on your left at all times. And he's the one who short sheets your bed because you were such a dick to him in the past.
Well, hey, blunt. I love it, and to the point.
Short sheets your bed. I like it. I like it. And says, when people who see those shadows and hag, if not strong enough to find themselves on a spiritual journey, some are not ready for. Maybe. It was kind of frightening. I've had astral experiences and was familiar with that and viewed it as a lucid dream astral experience, being chased by the what would be the old hag syndrome. But Jim, I think you touched on something pretty good there. I don't know if you were referring to the collective consciousness, about the information just being around us at any time to take.
Yes.
Do you think that is like a sort of database, or what is it to you, the collective consciousness?
Again, I can go all the way back to the way that our souls grow, and we get to hear that and appreciate it a lot more as we get into each soul life. You are an old soul, Chris, and there's a lot of stuff and a lot of things that the spirit world is trying to communicate with you. The heart situation that you've had is because you weren't taking care of yourself, and you weren't listening to your body, and you weren't listening to the spirits who warned you ahead of time. They did. And it was the one that you were driving before you had this heart attack, the one you came home from a drive or something, and there was something that you weren't paying attention to. And you had a lot of ravens or crows around you at that time too.
Maybe this raven over here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I do agree with you 100%. I feel that. I feel like sometimes they do try to communicate with me and I just don't listen. And it's like, oh, they would tell me the whole time, just stop doing this behavior you're doing. It's obviously screwing you up.
It is. It's an interesting way to look at things, because we always think that we have voices in our head, or it's us just tricking ourselves. And we know, and we're the only person that knows if we're lying to ourselves or we're not feeling right about something. It's just that we can't explain it to the other person or our partner beside us because they won't get it. They're not at our level, or they're below our level, or they're equal and they're just jealous that we do have it. So it's you can never win.
No. We understand, though. I'm looking.
Did you have something?
I had a question. I'm looking for someone's question. She said she put her birth date in like 2 times and I can't find her question. I feel so bad.
Well, if we don't get to everybody in time, you can book time with Jim, and you can speak to him directly at jimhuntofficial.com. Gonna throw that out there again. And the money is in Canadian, right? So
it's in Canadian, so you're getting the break.
You get a little break there.
So Joshua said, wonderful guest, must have him back. You booked gold this afternoon.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I do see the birthday. I think this was one person we didn't get to.
Jennifer.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do that real quick. And
let's see, Jennifer.
Jennifer says 8261. Jennifer Carnahan.
Okay, now I'm Canadian. So is that August 2nd or is that February 2nd?
That's a good question.
Sorry.
No problem.
Because it'll make a big difference. Because Leos have been struggling for the last 7 years. And if you're February 2nd, it's the Aquarius, which is struggling emotionally with friendships and relationships. And they feel alone.
Got it. Jennifer, I'm looking for you, girl.
She says August.
August, okay. So that's 7 years of a waiting list. So is there, in the year 1961, you're still not looking towards retirement. It's not happening yet, but there's a whole major change of opportunity, and your lower back won't hurt as much this year. So just understand that that's going to be a lot better for you. There's going to be less of a struggle emotionally with the rest of the family. And it's not that you're cutting them off. You're just not going to be the doormat anymore. So that's going to be really good. And your youngest child is going to talk to you more often.
Great.
That's what I got.
Wonderful.
Okay, great. Yeah, let me just clear these up. Excellent. Thank you so much. So, yeah, this has been a really good time. Where's the best place for people to find you, Jim? Is it that Jim?
It's at jimhuntofficial.com. I'm on Instagram at Jim Hunt Official, Twitter, Jim Hunt Official. I have the Facebook is JG Hunt Consulting. I'm having a hard time with Facebook to make them change it to Jim Hunt Official. I don't know why, but that's what the situation is. My hours are weird. They're from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday. I have been doing this for so long, people. I take a 3-day week, a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays to be spent with my family. I book special hours for people. So if I'm available, there's a different cost because I'm coming on for prime time for you. And if the people need to have me at 7 o'clock at night, I can do it, but the rates change at that point. I'm just trying to be honest, upfront, and real.
There are no surprises there.
No, that's excellent.
That's
but they get mad at me. A lot of people get mad at me. I got a lot of hate mail about me only being open 9 to 3, but it's the best that I can do with my own family.
Right. You have to spend time and take care of yourself as well.
Absolutely. Family first.
And if I can honestly say, I get a lot of questions sent to me by email. I have a personal assistant. She checks them, not me. And I cannot answer the 50 to 60 questions I do get daily. I just can't.
I can't imagine.
Sorry. It's fun, but it's like I feel bad. The empathic side of me, I just want people to know that I'm not ignoring you. I'm not.
Well, we hope that you have something in the works.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you in something besides Line Macros coming up.
Well, I'm working on something. It's going to be happening very soon. It is one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me in my years of life because I get to do this and I get to do something that I love. If you follow me, and I'll be able to announce it probably in the next couple of months, and then I'm going to let everyone know. But we're going to have a lot of fun with it because after the show, I got to ask you a few questions about some places that I wanted to talk to you about and maybe get you on the show too.
Oh, awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'm super interested in that. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just stay on with us.
Yep.
The stream will continue and we'll be off air. So
want to say thank you to
thank you so
all
much. There's a whole bunch of birthdays and stuff flooding in. I think we could keep Jim here for hours and hours doing this because everybody's like, oh, you know, I didn't get my
Donna's still saying
Donna's still asking about her third guide.
Yeah. Donna, I forget. I think that we had somebody that was, I forget what it was now. It was something about.
We had a golfer and we had money, and then there was a third one, and that was the one that
I would have to just sit and focus, and I might have to give that up another day.
All right, and then she can always reach out to jimhuntofficial.com.
Yes.
So we appreciate it. We appreciate your audience too, and all you guys for all your questions.
Thank you.
Totally appreciate you being here. So
thank you, everybody.
We'll see you next week. That's all we got for
Happy Saturday, and have a great weekend.
Enjoy.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canada.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canada. That's right. Right on.
Bye-bye.